Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we are taking a look at MidiStep from 4Pockets, so Paul's new app, and some of the cool new stuff you can do with the chord function, like you can do strums and arpeggios and stuff like that. Plus, I am also going to show you how you can set it up with Loopy Pro. Now, this version of Loopy Pro isn't out yet. It will be available within a couple of months, but this will be the next update sort of thing with all the MIDI stuff. So, first thing we are going to do is add in a synth. So, hit plus here, and we'll add audio unit input, and I shall search for SynthMaster 2 because there's a sound in there I want to use. There it is there. Okay, now when it loads SynthMaster and there is no MIDI source, it's going to ask you what you want to control it with. So I'm going to select MidiStep Pro and it will add it here. And now I can play SynthMaster with the MidiStep Pro. So I'm going to open SynthMaster and find this sound that I want to use. I think I have it favorited somewhere. I'm just going to open this up a little bit so I can see, and I'm pretty sure I put it in piano and keys. I'm just going to scroll up a little bit, find it. It's favorited one. It's not there. I think, is that it there? No, it might be the next one. There we go. This one here, I think. Select it. Yeah, there's the sound I'm going to use. So I'm going to go back to layer and just going to turn the sustain down and turn the decay up. Okay, done deal. So now I can play SynthMaster with my MIDI keyboard. However, I want to play it with MidiStep. So what we do now is we go in here and we add MIDI. Okay, and these are all our MIDI effects controllers, the outputs and things like this. So I want to look for MidiStep. So MidiStep, there it is, and open it up here. Now, this is a very simple session. I have 2 audio tracks and 2 MIDI tracks. Okay, so go down here, see I have 2 MIDI tracks and 2 audio tracks, and that all have different colors, which is very good. Now you'll see initially when this loads, it'll put MidiStep on the MIDI channels, and you can also see the colors here. Okay, I want MidiStep to play SynthMaster, and at the moment it won't do that. If I press play, all I'll get is my metronome. Okay, so the MIDI source for SynthMaster, I'm going to open this here, like this, and choose MidiStep. And now, okay, so now I've got 2 MIDI sources I can play SynthMaster 2 with, the MidiStep and MidiStep. I can still play the keyboard over it. Okay, cool beans. So you can hear what MidiStep is doing there. Let me turn that metronome off. Okay, and open MidiStep. So the very cool new chord features this has, and I'm going to show you how you can record this into Loopy Pro as well. But you'll see it's tracking along at 1/4 notes. Let's put it onto 1/8 so it's a bit quicker. I'm going to choose chord editor. And I'm going to switch chord on for this first step here. I'm going to go to step 5 and switch chord on. I'm going to go to step 9, switch chord on, and I'm going to go to step 13 and switch chord on. Now at the moment you'll see it's all just one note. Now a cool thing here is if I add a chord now to this first step, right, so for example this C, well, C minor will do. Okay. C minor. If I go to step 5 and I tap this, I have a chord picker. So if I chose minor now, it would be C minor again. Same chord basically, but without this extra note. But I can go and choose a chord. So I could go maybe a minor, this one. Okay, cool beans. And I'm going to go to step number 9, and I'm going to choose minor scale as well. So, okay, cool. I'm going to go step 13, and I'll choose another chord from the chord picker. I'll choose a sus4. And in fact, I'll take a few notes out of that as well. And I'll change this chord to a random. And now I can increase the complexity. Hear that now? Now, here's where it starts to get super cool. Let's go back to our first lane here and select number 1. And you'll see this stuff here, where it says chord articulation. I can choose a different type of articulation for each of these chords. And another thing I'm going to do also as well, before I go any further, I'm going to tie these chords together. So I'm going to actually, I'm going to leave that one as it is, sorry. I'm going to choose tie and just drag along. Same with this one, choose tie and just drag along. Okay, number 9, I'm going to choose from 10, choose tie, and then 14, I'm going to choose tie, drag along. So now we've got those chords playing. Now also I could choose at any point here to change the actual root note of the chords, because at the moment the root notes are all the same, they're all C. We're in our minor scale, so it's all going to be good. Just drag up and you'll see that the 4 tied notes will move together as a chord. Okay, let's go back to chord 1 now. And here we can choose strum down, strum up. Let's strum down for this one. Okay. Let's go to chord number 9 and maybe have a strum up. And we've got different speeds. Let's go to chord 13 now and choose ARP up. And for chord from number 5, we'll choose ARP down. Now I'm going to put this onto random. And this is already on random, so I'm going to make sure I'm selected on number 5 and increase the complexity. And on this one, so step 13, I'm going to choose random note order and increase the complexity. So it'll go quite quick. And we can still do all the other cool stuff like randomize the jumps. We can reset all lanes with this reset button here. Oh, very cool. If we come out of chord editor, we can still control our arcs, our octaves. And I'm going to use the pattern mode now for a moment. So let's say this is pattern 1. I'm just going to copy, go to number 2, and this will be number 2. So exactly the same as number 1, but we'll vary this up a bit now. And I'm going to change let's go to chord editor. I'm going to choose different type of articulation here. Now I'm going to go with strum up. And this one I'm going to go with a arp down. I'm going to go to random and increase the complexity. And change it up a bit. Okay, if I go back to pattern 1 now. And this is 2, but let's put this on 16ths. 1 is still on 1/8. And then you can play around with it as much as you like. Maybe this might be better on a slower. So this is number 2, and I'll put all of these. So I'll select number 9 and put them all onto ARP, either up or down. Okay, so now they're all playing different variations as well. And number 1 will be still the same. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I want these to play automatically. So I'm just going to stop the transport, which will stop and start MidiStep. You see here where it says next, I want this to go to advance. And then I'm going to go to 2 and it'll say none, and I'm going to go to advance. So what will happen now is it'll keep going backwards and forwards between 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So for example, let me just reset this and now it'll change to 2. I'll put this back on to 1/8. Okay. Awesome. So I'm going to stop that a sec and just close this down. Now, as per normal, that you can do this now, okay? You can record this into one of the audio tracks, for example. So this is now where all the colors become in handy. So this where it says destinations, right? These colors on this bottom row here, these are your destinations, okay? So for example, I can record this information into one of the audio tracks. I only need to select it and the information coming from SynthMaster will go into there. If I want to send this information from here, I need to select a MIDI destination, right? So I could choose either blue or burgundy because that's the only ones we have. But let's for now record one into the audio. So let's close this down so we can see what we're doing. Here's one of our audio tracks. We know that this is going to go to both because both is selected as output, okay? So we can choose either or to record SynthMaster's output. So let's do that, shall we? Let's start playing. Make sure our metronome is on. So, and you see it's playing. So now it's recording. Let me turn the volume down for that. Now what you're hearing is this loop and nothing else. And if I turn this back up, what you're hearing now is MidiStep still playing this. So I could turn MidiStep down, turn the volume for this back up, okay? So let's leave the volume for this down for a moment. Let's turn MidiStep back up. Now what happens if I don't select a destination and I try to record onto a MIDI track? Watch what happens. I'll do it this one. See, it's recording the MIDI. Do this. If I stop, you won't hear anything at all. However, if I now choose to send SynthMaster 2's output to this MIDI track, so this MIDI track will be the source playing SynthMaster 2, Burgundy. You'll see it works, right? Now, of course, we could do it this way. Let's delete that MIDI. And this time, let's leave the output to go to this. But this time, choose this and send it to the Burgundy one, right? Okay, so for example, now if I play and turn it up, if I hit the Burgundy one now, it will record the MIDI. Okay, and if I turn this down, in fact, I can remove MidiStep completely now. In fact, I will take it off bin going anywhere. It's not MidiStep now, it's the MIDI that's coming in from the red channel because we've sent SynthMaster to be controlled by the red MIDI channel. And we still have our audio track, which is the same. Except now we could swipe this up and say, well, let's reverse this. So now we've got the MIDI playing the forward direction and we've reversed the audio on this version. But we could go even further. We could either speed that MIDI up. If we slide up now and look at our MIDI editor, we've got a speed here. So let's just stop that for a sec. Slide this up and maybe go, well, okay, let's have that go twice the speed. And now awesome. You can, of course, also as well go in and edit the MIDI as you wish. And you can also quantize. At the moment, there's no quantize set, but if you click, you can do this in clip settings as well. You can hit quantize and you go, well, why quantization options there, right? Okay, and you can do that. Or you can check this and select it all and go, well, delete, copy, or quantize, right? And now cool beans. Slow it back down to the right speed. Let's stop. Don't forget this is going backwards. I mean, MidiStep has got some very, very, very cool features now. Awesome stuff. I mean, we could go in here and go, well, okay, that's great, but let's keep constant pitch. This is constant pitch. This will change the pitch. We're going to keep constant pitch. And we'll just slow this down to, let's see, we've got one. Double tap to reset that. We've got one. And let's slow it down to about that. That'll do. Instead of messing around. Right. Okay, so let's now play this. Don't forget, this is your MIDI channel level. And you, by the same token, you can slow this down as well if you wanted to. And reverse it, of course. But because you're reversing MIDI, it's not going to give that cool reversed audio effect, right? So you could add a black hole in here or something. Now, of course, you'd be free to set up something completely different in MidiStep and record that onto this MIDI channel, just like we recorded it onto this one. Or the same, by the same token, we could choose to record via the MIDI keyboard. Let's try that. Let's see what we can do. So we're going to use the blue one. So I am going to change this from burgundy to blue. So our MIDI source will be this, and also I'm going to set my keyboard to be sending MIDI to the blue channel. So now if I play, just play a few notes. Turn this up because we need to hear MidiStep playing this, of course. So if I choose this one, actually look, well, what I've done there, let me just set this right clear. You'll see here, this is where it's going. So I'm going to disable, okay, disable both of those for MidiStep. I just want this MIDI to be played by this MIDI to be played by SynthMaster. So I'm going to choose blue as a MIDI source. Okay, now we're not doing anything with MidiStep. Sorry, need to set my SynthMaster to be playing on the MIDI track. Right, so I can turn the volume down a bit now. and just play a few notes in for the blue channel. Okay, let's see if that works now. And this doesn't need to be connected anymore because I'm not using the keyboard anymore, only to record those few notes in. So this is our sequence recorded in by MidiStep. This is the one we've just recorded in, and this is our reversed audio version. All using the same sound. With some of the new features from MidiStep with the chords. We won't hear this now because we're not using it, I'm just showing you. See, it's there. In fact, we can actually take it out completely. And now we've just got our one audio track and our MIDI tracks going. But what's also very clever here is that it's all the same SynthMaster. This MIDI is playing the SynthMaster. If I turn, all you're hearing is the second red MIDI channel. And then I can bring the other one in. Even though it's the same SynthMaster that's playing both these MIDI tracks. It's awesome stuff. Guys, anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it useful and you understand a little bit more about Loopy Pro's MIDI now. Obviously, more videos to come on this subject. And I hope you enjoy the new features added to MidiStep. Awesome stuff. Top job. Cool beans. I will see you later. Ta-ta. Thank you for watching.